I hate Valentine's Day. Here I am in my guest room with my new tufted velour headboard from Pottery Barn. I just love it. Um, I was married 25 years and I've been divorced for over 12 now. A mom to some wonderful kids. And my ex husband was a great family man and he respected me and thought I was wonderful. But I'm not over the fact that our sex life was bad from the very beginning. I almost didn't marry him because it was so bad. And when people are leaving all their posts now on their social media about, oh, happy Valentine's Day to my beloved. I'm so glad I married my wife or this or that. My only disappointment in my life is that my marriage was that I chose someone who didn't want to improve on the relationship part of the marriage. You want to improve in all other ways, making more money, doing house projects, exercising more, doing things with the kids. But when it came to our relationship or sex, he would just say, that's just how I am. No, sex is just physical. Sex is just physical, he would say to me. And that's how it was for him. He never wanted to kiss. He always kept his eyes closed. And although he was a very sensual person otherwise, and he would say he loved hearing me talk, put him in touch with his feelings, I think there was something in him that was afraid to feel, afraid to connect. And in a way, it's really sad that he wasn't able to actually be more connected to his wife. It wasn't that I was trying to get him to do nasty things or kinky things. Just believe me when I say it was a huge disappointment in my life, and that is ultimately the reason I divorced him. So you might say, hey, why didn't you speak up and talk to him? Why didn't you speak up? I did speak up. In the beginning when we were first married or before we got married, I did speak up. And he would just say, I'm not interested in that. Don't wear your lingerie. Oh no, or we'd be walking in downtown San Diego back in the mid 90s, early 2000s. They still had like the sex shops where you could like buy toys and stuff. Like, oh, let's go in here, you know? Oh, I don't want to go in there. No. Or one time I learned about this Tantra class. This is when we still lived in Arizona. And I'm like, let's go to this introduction. He agreed to go to the introduction. And they were talking about how we would do eye gazing and this and that. And I thought, this sounds really healthy for a relationship. It might bring us closer, improve our sex life. And when we left, he said, I don't want to take that class. I need to use that money to do this project on the house. And he did the project on the house. It was like that. Then when it was our anniversary, I'm like, oh, we should go away for our anniversary. And he said, yeah, we should. And he insisted on always taking the kids. So we had some kind of intimacy issues, in which in a way is kind of sad, but he didn't want to address it. When I did finally, in the end of our marriage, insist on going to therapy, he really resisted going to therapy. He resisted and resisted, and I finally made a huge deal out of it, and he agreed to go. He didn't want to look at himself or change anything in himself, and he told me that to him, sex is just physical. Now, he did like sex, don't get me wrong. Ideally, every 2 to 3 days, he liked to have sex with me. And the way it would go is he would roll over in bed in the morning, grab my breast, and stick his cock inside of me. That's it. No kissing, no warm-up, nothing. And sometimes he did try to go down on me, but only if he was very turned on. And he was rarely able to make me come because he lacked that sensuality somehow. I did speak up. I did want to change things. So what he said to me, the two things were, sex is only physical. And he also said, this is just how I am. I can't last longer than a minute. This is just how I am. So he didn't want to change anything to make it better. And he didn't allow any sensuality in the bedroom. He didn't want any kissing. He always kept his eyes closed. he would get mad if I played any kind of romantic music. And just to give you an idea of how emotionally barren it was, towards the end of our marriage, and we'd already been married over 20 years, we had these great kids together. And at that time in our marriage, we were actually very close and getting along and spending more time together. Um, we were in a missionary position, and I felt so close to him, and I was so turned on. And I told him that I loved him. I said, I love you. And I noticed I got really more turned on when I said it. I got really more turned on because for women, there's a connection between our hearts and our vaginas. There's a connection, our head, our heart, and our vaginas. And I felt close to him, and that turned me on. And I noticed I got turned on, and we usually didn't say I love you to each other. We just didn't. So when I noticed I got more turned on, I'm like, let me say it again and see what happens. So I said it again, and he stopped thrusting and he yelled at me, why are you saying that? That's when I realized there was something wrong with him, like not in a psychotic way, but emotionally shut down way. Why would he be so triggered by his wife saying that she loves him during sex? Why would he not let me play any love songs during sex? You know, why? It's very sad. I blame his mother for being such a cold bitch when he was growing up. I think there was more emotional shutdown. I don't know if he was sexually abused. But anyway, that's the sex life that I had. And to me, that was the only bad part of my marriage. That was the only bad part of my marriage. Other than that, I like being married. I like being part of a family. He was otherwise a very good husband. But that part was very painful. And Valentine's Day just brings it all back out to me. Oh yeah, he gave me flowers and gifts for Valentine's Day and made sure the kids are, kids listen to your mom. He always thought I was smart. He always told me how smart I was, how beautiful I was. He was in all other ways a great husband. There was no alcohol abuse or, he came home after work. He was very masculine and alpha, did house projects, helped a lot with the kids. He had really good energy. But sexually, he was just a dud. And for this reason, Valentine's Day brings up memories of my one chance at a marriage was just shot. And now at my age, at 63, my only dating prospects are men older than me, and most of them are I just don't find them attractive. I just don't. I find younger men attractive, but they just want to fuck me. So I doubt that I will ever get married again or date again. I have not dated anyone since I got divorced from him. I spent the first 8 years post-divorce, or 9 years even, really, really wanting a relationship. I went out a lot. I tried to meet men. I was on a lot of dating sites. And I went on a few dates here or there, just one date. I never met anyone that had a second date. I think I had a second date with one guy. I never met anyone I wanted to date. I didn't kiss any of the guys on the first dates. I'm not like that. I'm like, who would, be of the caliber to handle me that I could respect and that I could see as the father to my children. They're grown, but he would have to have enough going on to where he could be the father of my children and be really good in bed. Otherwise, why would I want a man, honestly? So Valentine's Day to me really sucks, and I always think everybody that's like, oh, I have a great wife, I have a great husband, is having awesome sex. But the truth of it is, a lot of people are having really, really bad sex. And you would be surprised at how many women who are absolutely beautiful and smart are frigid. A lot of these women are frigid, and they channel their frigidity and they cover it up by being very accomplished and very beautiful, but it doesn't mean that they're sexually responsive or sensual or have a good libido at all. There are a lot of people walking around who are sexually frozen, like my ex-husband. You can't always tell from looking at them. When I was an escort after my divorce, the men were so much more sensual. They looked at me, they kissed me, they wanted me to enjoy myself, they could last long in bed. I've even had guys come to appointments just for the sole purpose of going down on me and giving me an orgasm. So my experience with men post-divorce has been sexually very great. Has been very, very satisfying. And it's just a shame that, the man I was married to didn't want to experience that. But he didn't, he didn't. So I hate Valentine's Day. But in general, I hate holidays anyway. So I refuse to wear red today. I forgot to wear red today. And I didn't want to wear red for this video because I don't want to honor Valentine's Day. My love life was I never had this perfect relationship that would make me want to put on red for Valentine's Day. I'm not bitter. I'm just saying it's a stupid day. But what do you think about Valentine's Day? Let me know what you think. Because maybe it's a happy day for you. Let me know.